Right now, without your permission, your bank account is copying someone else's. Not your enemy, not a stranger, someone you trust, someone you had coffee with last week, someone whose name is saved in your phone under a heart emoji. You didn't decide to spend more this month. Something in you matched it. Here's the part nobody tells you. This isn't weakness. It's physics wearing a human face. Strike a tuning fork in an empty room and nothing happens. But place a second, identical fork nearby, untouched, and something strange occurs. The second fork starts vibrating on its own. No contact, no wire, no signal you can see. Just two objects tuned close enough that one forces the other to match its frequency. Scientists call it sympathetic resonance. And your bank account has been doing this your entire life, long before you ever heard the word. You sit across from a friend who just bought something new. You didn't plan to spend today, but some part of you, quiet and older than logic, starts vibrating at their frequency. By the time the check comes, you've already matched their tone. You just don't call it that. You call it treating yourself. You call it I deserve this too. You call it 100 gentle, reasonable-sounding names. None of them are the real name. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. This isn't a metaphor for weak willpower. Neuroscientists found actual cells in your brain, mirror neurons, that fire the exact same way whether you perform an action or simply watch someone else perform it. When your friend swipes a card, a small circuit in your skull rehearses the same motion before you've said a single word. You are not choosing to keep up. Your nervous system is already halfway through the purchase before your conscious mind even walks into the room. And once that circuit fires, it doesn't stay isolated to one dinner, one weekend, one card swipe. It becomes the new baseline your brain expects. The next time you're near that same frequency, the resonance triggers faster, quieter. You stop noticing it happening at all. That's the part that should worry you more than the money itself. Not that it happens once, but that it gets easier every time. Now go back further than the neuroscience. Long before credit cards existed, matching the group wasn't a lifestyle choice. It was survival equipment. A human separated from the tribe's rhythm, eating differently, dressing differently, gathering differently didn't just feel awkward. They got left behind. Out of sync meant exposed. Exposed meant dead. Your brain still runs that ancient code today, sitting in a restaurant booth instead of a cave entrance. It doesn't know the tribe today is a group chat instead of a hunting party. It just knows one rule: match the vibration or risk exile. That fear never got a software update. It just changed clothes. So here's the quiet trap closing in on you right now, even as you watch this. Every unconscious match to someone else's spending frequency isn't a single event. It compounds. A $10 difference here, a $50 difference there, resonating weekly instead of once, behaves exactly like interest, except it runs backward. It doesn't grow your money. It erodes it silently in the direction of whoever you sit closest to most often. Picture two tuning forks again. Nearly identical, but one is struck slightly off pitch from the other. At first, the difference is almost imperceptible. A fraction of a hertz, invisible to the ear. But hold that mismatch over months, over years, and the gap doesn't stay small. It stretches. It compounds on itself the way debt compounds, the way savings compound, except this time working against you. That fraction becomes a canyon. That's what a few unconsciously matched purchases a month become over a decade, except instead of sound waves drifting apart, it's your future net worth drifting away from where it could have stood quietly, without a single alarm going off. And here's the detail that should genuinely unsettle you. This was never a fight about willpower. You could have the discipline of a monk and still resonate, because resonance doesn't ask your permission. It doesn't consult your goals or your budget spreadsheet. It works on proximity and frequency alone, the same way it works on two pieces of metal that have never met. That means the smartest, most disciplined person in the room can still get pulled into someone else's frequency without a single conscious decision being made. This was never a fight you were supposed to win by trying harder. It was a fight you were losing without even knowing the rules existed. Think about how many financial decisions in your life were never actually decisions. The vacation you couldn't really afford, but everyone else was going. The upgrade you didn't need, but showed up right after someone in your circle got theirs. The dinner that cost more than your grocery budget for the week, because leaving early or ordering less felt like announcing something you didn't want to announce out loud. None of those moments felt like resonance while they were happening. They felt like choices. That's exactly how resonance survives, by disguising itself as your own voice. And it doesn't only resonate with the good moments. It resonates with the anxious ones too. Someone in your circle loses a job, and suddenly everyone tightens at once, even the people whose finances never changed. Someone gets a raise, and within weeks, 3 other people upgrade something they never mentioned wanting before. Watch closely and you'll notice something almost eerie. Money doesn't move through a group the way logic would predict. It moves the way sound moves through a room, bouncing off whoever is standing closest, landing hardest on whoever is least braced for it. You were never immune to that. Nobody is. The only real difference between people is whether they know it's happening while it happens. Here's the mechanism most people never catch because it hides in plain sight. Resonance doesn't need a big moment to work. It doesn't need a birthday, a promotion, a vacation. It works in the smallest transactions, the ones too minor to question. The extra round of coffee, the slightly nicer bottle of wine because everyone else ordered one, the subscription you kept because canceling it in front of someone felt heavier than paying for it. Small resonance is the most dangerous kind, precisely because it never triggers the alarm a big purchase would. Nobody budgets around a $5 echo, but $5 matched weekly, for years, at the frequency of people you didn't even choose that carefully, is not a rounding error. It's a second rent payment you agreed to without ever signing anything. But here's where the same law that traps you becomes the exit. If a tuning fork only resonates with what's near its own frequency, then distance breaks the spell. Not distance from people, distance from their financial frequency. You don't need new friends. You don't need to disappear from the group chat or sit out the next dinner. You need to notice in real time when a purchase is actually yours, and when it's an echo of someone else's vibration passing through you on its way somewhere else. That single half-second of noticing is enough to interrupt the circuit. Mirror neurons fire fast, but conscious attention fires faster, if you let it catch the signal before the card ever leaves your pocket. There's a stranger truth hiding under all of this, and it's the one that actually changes something. You are also a tuning fork to everyone around you. Every time you spend with intention instead of resonance, you're not just protecting your own frequency. You're quietly changing what the people near you match to. The circle that's been draining you can just as easily be recalibrated by you without a single conversation about money ever happening out loud. Nobody has to know the rules changed. They'll just feel the room settle into a different note. That's the mechanism hiding underneath every "I don't know why I bought that." You weren't careless. You were tuned. And now that you can hear the frequency for what it is, you get to decide, every single time you're near someone else's spending, whether you vibrate with them or hold your own note steady. Because the account draining quietly in the background was never really yours to begin with. It was borrowed resonance, running up a bill in your name. And borrowed resonance always, eventually, has to be paid back, usually with interest you never agreed to. So here's the only thing that actually matters going forward. The next time you're sitting across from someone and you feel that pull to match what they're doing with their money, pause for exactly 1 second before you move. Not longer, just long enough to ask whose frequency you're actually about to spend in. That pause is the only gap where the pattern can still be broken. Everything after that second belongs to whoever struck the tuning fork first. And the strange part is, once you hear it once, you can't unhear it. You'll start noticing the resonance everywhere, in the group chat, at the dinner table, in the quiet moment before every card leaves your hand. That awareness alone is the first vibration that was ever truly yours.